The ASAA's Robert H Routledge Award is named after one of the 1956 founders of the ASAA. The purpose of the award is to recognise one individual annually for their outstanding service to school athletics in Alberta. This year's recipient is Tim Schultz. I first met Tim Schultz when he was a student in a sessional track and field class I was teaching as a grad student at the University of Alberta in the mid-1980s. Tim was one of those students you just loved to have in your class. He hung on every word, he listened intently, and then he went off to do the assigned task. And I found that he was a constant source of energy and enthusiasm and made my days of teaching that class something to look forward to. Tim was a real keener, and I thank him for making my life a little more pleasant as a grad student. So how pleased was I when I encountered Tim during my time with the ASAA? By the 1990s, he was already as actively involved in school sport as one could hope. He became the athletic director at Hillside High School in Valley View. And when Mark McQuaig-Boyd stepped down as the long-serving zone president of the Northwest Zone, Tim stepped in and he held that president role for 10 years before heading south. Now, during his time at Valley View, his athletic programs were exemplary, but it wasn't just the programs in his school. I mean, I should add that his track and field team won provincials on 6 consecutive occasions from 2003 to 2008. And Tim also led his team to win a sportsmanship award in basketball back in the 1990s. So when Tim moved south, just south of Edmonton, he didn't stay out of zone administration for long. He took on the role of president for the North Central Zone, and he did that for 5 years. I don't know anybody who's actually served as president of 2 different zones. So well done, Tim. Next up for Tim was taking on the role of track and field commissioner for the ASAA, a role he still holds after 2 elections and 10 years of service. Tim has personally chaired track and field provincials himself. He's also chaired basketball provincials. He has coached every sport you can imagine. And I have no idea how many times he has hosted a championship of a sport at the zone level, but I would think the number would be significant. Tim is one of those guys who gets his hands dirty. If there's a task to be done, Tim jumps in to help. This was evident so many times when he was the zone president of the Northwest Zone and the zone president of the North Central Zone, and even more evident during his time as track and field commissioner. In addition to the countless hours that he spent reworking our championship event schedule each time a new event or category was added, Tim could regularly be seen at provincials putting up and taking down banners, moving high jump mats, hurdles, handling appeals, working with officials, and much, much more. His interest in and passion for athletes with a disability has allowed the ASAA to start and subsequently increase the participation of underrepresented populations in this sport. And this has all happened during Tim's time as Commissioner of ASAA Track and Field Provincials. So his tireless work at our championships as a hands-on commissioner has made our championships in Alberta one of the most well-organised competitions that you will see. So Tim, I have personally, professionally benefited greatly from knowing you. The world of ASAA Track and Field will miss you when you leave. But knowing you, you won't disappear from sight when you finish your term with the ASAA. That's just not you. Congratulations on winning the ASAA's most prestigious award, the Robert H Routledge Award.
It was a very pleasant call to receive. It definitely takes a person by surprise, and the shock and everything else that, it's something that's never expected. And it's something that we as, educators and coaches and administrators never go into the profession for that recognition. So when it is given to you and lauded to you, especially from your peers, it makes it very, very special. When we first start out as coaches and young people, we look at success as the win-loss column, right? And we take a look at our percentages of this and doing our percentages of that. And as we spend more time with it, it definitely varies and that. But to me, really, truly, over my time that I've been with high school athletics and that within the province of Alberta, I really look at success as my student athletes. And I look at their faces and I look at their reactions when they do positive things. And it's not sometimes that win-loss column, but, to be able to develop that good skill. If you're playing a team sport, did I go to the right spot at the right time? Did I make the right pass? Did I make the right decision? And trying to, as a coach and educator, trying to progress them to their own thinking points. So they're making the decisions for themselves. Successes to me really are the joy that you see from the student athletes and giving them an opportunity to try something that they haven't done, and those little successes as they build on themselves. So yeah, that to me is the successes that we should be looking for within athletics, is improving their standing, making them feel good about themselves, and even trying something new that they never thought they could have done, and seeing their faces light up when they throw that distance that they never thought they could, when they could jump that height or run that speed or make that foul shot or hit that ball in volleyball, right? So that to me is the successes, is where are my student athletes, how did they enjoy their experience, and are they giving back to that program, to those sports and activities that gave them so much. In the student athletes that I've worked with over the years, and when they leave the program and they come back to the program and maybe offer assistance, or they come back and they say thank you, because sometimes it's hard for as a 15 to 18-year-old student athlete to say thank you in the moment, right? So it takes some time for them to mature as an individual and that to be able to do that. And so when that athlete returns and has those, quote unquote, those adult conversations with you, once they can look back and reflect, I think that gives us our measure as to, have we helped? Have we, given them a good start and pushed them in the right direction? So that's my measure. And I've had a number of those over the years, and they make you feel good. This is something that no one person can do alone. We need a group that is going to work together towards that common goal. And I've seen that right from the start of my time in high school athletics. Like, if you're the only coach in that school, you can't do it by yourself. You're going to need extra help around you. You're going to need the athletes to buy in. You're going to need the parents to buy in. You're going to need the rest of your staff to buy in and support. You're going to need administration to buy in and support. You go back to the old phrases of, it takes a village to raise a child. And in athletics, we really, truly do see that. Like, it takes that full village around you of all those different levels and components in order to do that. We know there's different levels and layers within a team. There's always a captain and there's always, those leaders on the team, but a team's not going to be successful without the role players, without those other people that give those special, impactful, again, meaningful minutes, and it takes all that support in which to do that. And to me, that's what I would hope that, that the provincial body and, the people that I've worked with over the years, they see that's what I tried to do is work together as a team in order to do that. The old adage of walk softly and carry a big stick. Don't go in there full of, something in vinegar and try to get, push things through. Like, we can't jam things through. We got to gentle it through. We've got to make those compromises and work together and listen to someone else's point of view. because everybody's got something important to say and important to share about the development of our athletic program. And definitely take the time to talk to other athletic directors, talk to different athletes, talk to parents, talk to administrators, talk to teachers, and get all of their inputs and try to mold that into something that's going to be the best for that student athlete in the province of Alberta. There's tons of thank yous, and you know, it would start with Kelly as the thank you for the nomination, right? I mean, like I said, we don't go into this role for accolades and thank yous. We go into it and for our student athletes and for our communities, those types of things and that. So, you know, I'd really like to extend that thank you to you. I would definitely like to thank, you know, the Alberta Schools Athletic Association for being a #1 organization, you know, setting a high standard, being front runners and leaders for that, and pushing us as, you know, athletic directors, coaches, teachers, phys ed people within here to do better and give us that type of thing. So definitely like to thank them, you know, and John's done a fabulous job with the leadership of that, the executive that's supporting. And we can't forget, you know, our local administration. You know, we have to be thankful of our local administration. And I've had the benefit of working for some, you know, great-minded principals over my years that have, you know, seen the importance of athletics. You know, not all the learning happens in a classroom, right? There's much more learning that's going on in a practice, in a game, you know, and even that bus ride, you know, going here and there and forever, you know, those 12-hour bus rides that we got to do sometimes to get to where we want to go. So, you know, thanking them. We definitely have to thank the parents of the student athletes that I've been privileged to work with over the many, many years for entrusting their child to me, and the students themselves. They're, you know, it's tough being a student athlete because you have the pressures of school, you have the pressures of your friends outside of that, you have the pressures of the athletics as well. So, you know, thank you for giving up your time and working and trying new things, you know, most definitely there for sure. And I definitely have to thank my daughters, you know, at the end of everything, you know, because they've been drugging around the province from when they were, you know, 1 year old, you know, sleeping in classrooms or long bus rides. I mean, they had a great bunch of babysitters around them. I mean, you can't ask for better babysitters to look after your kids and that, and, you know, but it's still time away from me and them. It's just time apart. Even though you're there together, right? It's still, it's different, you know? So, you know, definite thanks to them for putting up with me sometimes as a grumpy bear, you know, so, you know, thank you for that.